Hey guys, this is just a quick PSA for this podcast episode. Basically, we've had technical issues for the last couple of weeks, months with StrangeCast. For some reason, we're just dealing with it, and we've had another one with this episode. If you're listening to the audio version on podcast services, you'll be fine, and it's only more visible on the YouTube and Spotify versions where there's a video available, which is basically for some reason I'm lagging in the video. My video is just like all over the place. I don't know what's happened there. It happens during the segment with me and Adam where we're doing the news and spread the arts and outro and intro. And during the segment with Katy as well, it's me again where there's a lag issue. But for some reason, it's recorded Katy and Adam fine. Both cameras are fine. Both their audios are fine. My audio, I think, is fine from what I've seen so far. But it's just the camera issue. You'll see that I'm lagging constantly. The frame rate isn't just keeping up with what's happening. I don't know what happened. I spoke to tech support with about the issues that I had with the software. They can't seem to resolve it. They're as useless as ever. So, just bear that in mind when you watch this episode in case you do wonder what's going on with the video. And we are going to be looking at tweaking on this software and see if we can actually make it work or move to a new software, because I'm kind of getting fed up of having to deal with constant tech issues in almost every episode for no reason. So I just wanted to put that out there as a quick, a PSA, just so you knew what was happening. But without further ado, I hope you enjoy this episode. As I said, bear with us. There'll be a couple of changes that are happening to the channel in terms of the video, recording, everything else. So just stick with us and hopefully we can get it resolved. But without further ado, I hope you enjoy the episode. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Player One vs. the World's StrangeCast podcast, your one-stop destination for all Life is Strange content. I am one of your co-hosts, Adnan. My co-host Adam is here. Adam, you here?
I am here. Hello.
Hello. Yes. So obviously we have Katy Bentz on this episode. Very excited for that. Surprisingly, we're recording this segment before we speak to Katy, which is a bit different. Usually we've recorded those segments before anything else, but we had a couple of pieces of news that we wanted to address first, because I think we kind of add it into this episode. But obviously there's timestamps as well. If you want to jump to the Katy interview, you can do. But I'd recommend you listen to this as well first, because, you're here. So you might as well listen to some more Life is Strange stuff. And if you are new here as well, please do leave us a subscribe, share this video with your friends, comment, it helps keep up to date with our content. And also StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So we're on Spotify with a video version. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Amazon Music. We're on everything. If you have a look, you'll find us there. So
come on now.
All the formalities out the way. Let's kick things off straight away, Adam, with one big news straight away. This was on September 22nd. So we have sales going on Xbox and PlayStation. And obviously we are StrangeCast. So one of the games that is on sale is Life is Strange. Specifically Life is Strange True Colors. I'm looking at GameSpot at the minute. I'm trying to find the price. Scroll past it. So Life is Strange True Colors is down from $60 on the Microsoft Store. Is it the Microsoft Store now or Xbox Store?
I don't know. I think it is just the Microsoft Store. I think they're just consolidating into Microsoft.
Right, it makes more sense. I'm still from my old Xbox Marketplace days. I miss those days.
I know.
Time. But yeah, Life is Strange True Colors is on sale there. It's down from $60 to $18. Obviously, $60 was retail price. It was over a year ago when it was released. But now we're down to $18, so you can pick it up there. And I believe I would assume it's the same on the PlayStation Store as well. I'll have a look at that. I have a funny feeling that Life is Strange, what's it called? Remaster Collection is also on sale. I can't confirm that.
It is. Last time I checked the store, which by the time this episode comes out, I think sales will be over by then. But, I always... Here's the thing about this news piece, though, is that, it's always on sale. I always see Life is Strange on sale. And it's one of those things that you haven't played it yet, or if you haven't played one of the games, I always see it on sale, including Life is Strange 2.
Yeah. Well, you could have told me that the sale's over by the time we recorded this.
Well, I wasn't sure. I thought
null and void the segment. It's been the longest September of my life. If you're wondering why I'm a little bit all over the place, that'll be a reflection of it. It's been long, but you make a good point, Adam, because in itself, we're not going to dwell on this topic for too long, but you are right. It's on sale a lot like Life is Strange 2 has been on sale a lot for the last 2 years or so, and I always recommend people to go and pick up that game. One of the most criminally underrated games of the last decade. Obviously, me and Adam will be moving forward with Life is Strange topics going forward. I think 2 will probably be our next one after this episode, Katie. So obviously, we've got a lot to talk about there. There's a lot to be said there. But yeah, like as I said, True Colors is on sale. It's actually more expensive on the PS5 or the PlayStation Store. I've just seen here.
Yeah, it's
$23.
It's interesting, but still, like from $60 to $18 or $60 to $23, like that tells me that like at some point soon, like even if the sale isn't on right now, if you don't want to pay $60 for this game, just wait like a couple weeks, you know, and it's going to be on sale for this price. So high hopes there for you if you haven't played this game yet.
Yeah, if you're like new to the series as well, like, and you've just stumbled across our podcast, obviously welcome. It's always nice to have new people here. And obviously I know people have kind of like, I've been loyal fans of the series, but then not played one of the entries in the series, or they kind of been a bit hesitant. But like you said, we have a nice bit of leeway here, you know, for not rumor. You have leeway and kind of like potential to kind of like, you know, buy. I don't know what I'm saying. Completely lost the topic. Right. What I'm saying is that you basically have a lot of windows to kind of buy.
Yes.
Life is Strange.
Plenty of windows.
Whenever you want. There's like a lot of it. It'll never kind of disappear. So you can pick it up whenever. And then I think it's just like, I want to bring this up because obviously it's just kind of like, it's there. So always keep your eye out in case you've not played a Life is Strange game and you've been keen to pick something up. And obviously True Colors is at probably one of its lowest prices. You'll get it for.
Yeah. I've never seen that low. Holy cow.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Right.
So we will move on from that as well. As I said, it's not a huge topic, but kind of wanted to give it a bit of a spotlight. But a big one, which also came out of nowhere, it was very little bit, just dropped out there. It was Life is Strange's Twitter account tweeted a video celebrating Max's birthday, and it featured none other than Hannah Telle, which was quite a, out of the blue. And I was like, hello. Obviously, this is part of our build up to the Life is Strange Arcadia Bay collection, which will be coming out on Switch very soon. We'll be talking about that in a separate topic very shortly. But yeah, It was a nice little video. I thought it was really, I wish they did this more. To be honest, I'd like to see this kind of like video being done with Ashley Birch or like Kylie Brown's or Erica Mori's in like a 1 year anniversary for True Colors. It'd just be quite nice. I think it just resonates more with people, especially when you see Hannah pop up and it's like, we're talking about
exactly.
Max, it's
like to recognize the first game, to actually like say that like, hey, the first game exists. We're not ignoring it. We're not ignoring Max and Chloe. And the fact that like like you said, like the Life is Strange actual Twitter account, the little check mark, actually recognized it. It's nice to hear. Yeah. Yeah,
it's really cool. And obviously I think Hannah's birthday was 3 days prior to this one, which is quite crazy that her and Max have the
similar birthdays.
Yeah. And so it's also like how old Hannah is as well. I didn't realize how old she was as well. I was like, but saying that, I'm kind of stuck in the time part of like 2015 when I spoke to her, and she was very young then as an actress as well. So it's like up and comer. So it's like it makes sense with that. But like when I saw someone put it with her age, I was like, nah. But saying that, saying that as well, I've been thrown off quite a few times. I feel like, Erica Mori is an example of that for age-wise. I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
Can't tell.
And same with Stace as well. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's how you're old. It's like, no way. It's like,
yeah, like I start to forget that you're actually you're younger than me. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because you act older than me. So,
well, I look older than you as well. I look like I've aged very, very poorly on my side. Yeah,
it's that British smog that gets to your skin.
If you say so. But no, as I said, it was nice just to have this kind of like popping up as a kind of like little nice surprise in itself, Adam, as well. Do you know what's weird about seeing this? Do you know when we talked about that rumor about Max coming back in the game and that ludicrous rumor? I just don't know. There's something.
There's no way. No.
But there's something in my heart of hearts. I'm just like, do you know what?
Again, I still stand by. What's that?
No, go for it.
Oh no, I was going to say like I still stand by my theory that was just a pitch, right? In like the Life is Strange sort of what do you call those peer reviews? Can't remember it. Like
what's it called now?
Like research
feedback.
Yeah,
there's a word for it now as well. Oh,
there is a word for it. I just can't remember the name for it. But I think it's like a pitch for one of those like mall research teams, like PRs teams. Like I think that was like
group.
one of folks. Thank you.
Right.
Like focus group research, where it's just like, oh, what do you think of this? And then somebody took it and jumbled the words and it's like, oh, they're actually developing a game. I really do think it was just a pitch, and they're just like, what do you think of this? Just to like, get some answers from that. I don't think there's no way they're doing that. Absolute trash rumor. There's no way.
Yeah, because I obviously I shitted on it and laughed on it, and I don't think it's real either. Because obviously it's just
no.
Like where is the source for that? Like it was such a loose kind of interpretation, but it's because it's been out there, and then you see Hannah come back in a video, and I'm like, but also the thing is as well, my other thing that I was kind of going for is like, could we see an older Max?
Yeah.
Like that's where I think like that's the only thing I could take away from that room, where it's like that's the thing I could be like, oh, this is quite interesting. They just fast forward the timeline a bit, and it's like we'll get Max a bit older. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
I would
heading
love to
down,
see an older Max with the personality of Karen, just like just road ridden and seen things, and I like there's some mistakes I've made.
Of a Karen or Karen Reynolds, are we talking?
No, Karen Reynolds of Life is Strange 2. Just like sitting outside smoking, it's like, yeah, well, sorry about that, but what are you gonna do? I'm Max.
Yeah. We were unfortunately not in the 2018 days of Life is Strange 2, where it's like we can just say Karen and be.
That's true. Yeah, I can't say Karen anymore, can I?
No, you have to like be pretty specific with your Karens right now. But I just have this kind of feeling where it's like I think you could make it work, like with, because obviously, like I said, Hannah's a lot older. Max, you could kind of like move forward in the timeline, just make her a bit older. It kind of obviously like me bringing this all up kind of contradicts some of the other stuff I said about previous episodes, where I said like maybe we should leave Max and Chloe behind. That room being a bit daft, but there's something there when you see her pop up. I'm like, there could be something here. Like, I got my tinfoil hat on, Adam. I've got my tinfoil hat on. I was there. I had the smart board behind me. I was like, let's connect the dots here. I was like, we need to connect the dots here.
Because here's the other thing. It's like, when's the last time they really recognized Max? And I understand it's because the first game is coming to Switch, and they're recognizing it. But when's the last time they really like actually acknowledged the first game?
I would say when they did the Arcadia Bay reunion video. Do you remember the actors?
Yes.
I'd say that's the last real big one where they were like properly like, oh, like look at his Life is Strange, got all more back together. It was like in that peak Zoom period where everyone was like reuniting cast from franchises, and then Life is Strange did theirs, and it was like that was the one where it's like, oh, and you saw that. I think in itself they should have just looked at the engagement and stuff on their Twitter feed and be like, right, we need to do more content around the original game, maybe. It's kind of like get the numbers up, but I just don't like. As I said, it's wonderful seeing Hannah Telle. I adore Hannah Telle. And I think everyone obviously adores Hannah Telle, but it's just like, it was nice seeing her. But then obviously the moment I saw her, I had my little tinfoil hat and I was like, maybe. I don't think that, I'm very doubtful of it. I think that if they're keeping the Life is Strange DNA construct or whatever you want to call it, we have to kind of like go with the idea that it's going to be a new protagonist. And like maybe,
yes.
And you can only hold on to the hope that you see a returning character like, Hannah Telle or a Gonzalo Martin or someone like that. Also, God, I'm so excited to talk about Life is Strange 2 in that episode. It's going to be so good because, like,
jeez.
Gonzalo Martin, genius. What a great actor. Right, I've got nothing else to add on to that. Should we go into our next segment?
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
I'm not going to share my thoughts for this episode, so...
So this is our kind of like little thought segment now, because the podcast will come out. Is it the 27th from the Tuesday?
Yes. 28. Yes, 27th is Tuesday.
Right. Yeah. So this will come out after. Obviously, we drop on our Wednesday usual slot. So that at that point, Life is Strange Arcadia Bay Collection will officially be out on the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
We're just using this as kind of obviously a news segment, but also a little mini topic in between it. And it's, long overdue, this release of the, Life is Strange remastered, Life is Strange Before the Storm remastered. We obviously covered it. It's had a name change, which obviously, royalties, Philly cheesesteaks. We want this channel. Give us these royalties, please. That's all we demand from giving the name suggestion. But no,
that's it. Just a Philly cheesesteak to your boy, in North Dakota.
Yeah. So we've got this coming out, and I thought we'd just use it as kind of thing to kind of talk about before, because you're picking it up and you'll be coming on one of the episodes. I probably imagine after our Life is Strange 2 episode that we'll go back to the remastered collection, because I'll kind of interrogate you and do an interview so we can kind of see what we have as reflection. But you had some doubts because you said that we haven't seen much gameplay or anything in the promos. We have seen
even during the Nintendo Directs. It made an appearance in the Nintendo Direct, but it was the same kind of trailer that we've already seen. We have not seen actual gameplay from this game that's coming out this week.
Sorry to interrupt. What did they show at the Nintendo Direct? Because I didn't watch it, but I'm glad that they showed it at the Nintendo Direct, because they need to market it.
No, it was have you seen the trailer yet? Where it's just like a girl walking in the fields with her Switch, and it's just it shows footage of Life is Strange, but not necessarily the Switch footage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's I'm doubtful that that's actually Switch footage that we saw in that trailer. I think it's just Life is Strange remaster.
Well, because I said that because you said it to me, and obviously our little chats and stuff. And then I looked at some of the promo videos. They do show footage on the Switch, and some of the kind of some of the videos that they are showing, it does look like it's running on Switch, because obviously I'm a PlayStation advocate, and obviously when you look at the Switch graphics, it looks like I'm playing in the PlayStation 3 version of Life is Strange at that point, because it's the quality isn't that good. So it's but they've only seen and to kind of add on to your point, it's only been little segments, because I thought you could, because it's been out for so long, I thought you could just drop a 15-minute video on YouTube and be here's a 15-minute walkthrough of the Switch version of Life is Strange.
Yeah, exactly. But I haven't seen it. I'm doubtful about it, especially since the mess just on console and PC for the remaster, and now it's going to go on Switch. I'm still picking it up. I'm still going to play it. I'm still going to talk about it on the podcast. I have my doubts. That's it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I just because we have had a lot of months together on this podcast bashing on the remaster collection, and I've always advocated that we don't hate the remaster collection. I don't have any kind of personal vendetta against it. I'm just obviously a couple of changes that happened in the first Life is Strange, which were kind of for me a little bit questionable. Obviously, Michel echoed some of those himself on Twitter in terms of his feedback on it, but it was just it was a mess kind of coming out. It was so many bugs and stuff. I think in an episode I'm going to compile all the patch notes that we have, because it must be at least 3 or 4 pages of A4 documents, the amount that we've actually had since the game came out. You go on YouTube and you watch HD remaster collections, footage, 4K and stuff. I use it for make some of the thumbnails for YouTube, and I screenshot them, and some of the scenes are still broken, and these obviously were captured when the collection came out. So I'm it's just and I think, I don't know if there's some of the issues have been fixed, all of them. I think subtitle issues I still seen pop up here and there on Reddit, and it's
yes,
I'm this is why, and Switch as well. It has to be pretty you need to get that precision done properly, because you're not gonna be able to drop those patches left, right, and center as you're doing on PlayStation, Xbox. It doesn't necessarily accommodate to that. So I think I'm hopeful for it, and I'm still not a big fan of the fact that the BTS is a digital download, because like I said, if you buy the second, you can't buy the second hand. You're just gonna get Life is Strange on. You won't get the.
I saw you replying somebody on YouTube about that. Someone left the comments so I can't buy Before the Storm used, and it's just nope, you can't. You really can't.
Yeah,
it's either just Life is Strange 1 or you're done. That's it.
Yeah, I just find that it must be because of the Switch's software capability, and obviously they'd probably just wanted, because it would be I think it'll be 2 cards in that case. I don't think you'd be able to get 2 cartridges. It'd have to be 2 cartridges. No. Sorry, it wouldn't be 1. But it's just annoying though, because it's that, and then it devalues the value of the actual collection for someone. Because I buy games sometimes full price, and then sometimes I want to trade them in at retail. It depends on the games. If for example, God of War, I'll download from my PlayStation store just because I want the digital version early and ahead of time. But if I can wait for a game, I'll buy it full priced, and then I'll want to finish it and then trade it in and get the value on it. But you can't really do that with this. The minute you do that, the value's gone. Like you've already say it's like 40, 50 quid at launch or $60. You're getting 30 as soon as you download that code. It's gone.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I'm gonna get the physical edition just because I want to talk about it on the show, you know. But honestly, if I'm gonna like recommend this game, I recommend you buy it from the eShop. If you're gonna get it on Switch or any other platform, well, the Switch. We're specifically talking about the Switch. Get it from the eShop because it's not a Nintendo franchise, it's easily gonna go on sale pretty soon. So it's $40 outright, and probably I'm gonna say like a month or two, you can probably pick it up for $20, like easily, because it's not a Nintendo title. So they're gonna put it on sale, and it's gonna be digital. And Before the Storm's gonna be digital anyway. So just buy it from the eShop, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's just probably the smarter decision. You just want both of them. You don't want to buy just one and then miss out on the other. It'd just be a bit weird. That. So as I said, I'm optimistic. Hopefully it's a better version of the actual collection compared to what we've experienced. And obviously, as I said, Adam will be back on here. It's kind of give us essentially a full breakdown review. I would play it, but I don't have my Switch anymore. And I think like it's probably wiser because I just don't want to get angry from that kind of like, you know, I'm just in that state. I played, for example, recently because I was finishing it off because I bought the Assassin's Creed Odyssey Season Pass. I don't own the game yet. I'm going to get it down the line. But with that, you get Assassin's Creed 3 HD Remastered. And also included in that, you get Liberation HD Remastered. I finished Liberation after 17 hours. That game crashed on me 10 times. Not even kidding you. I got it all screenshot video on because they kept recording it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then it was riddled with bugs. Oh my God. I'm like, are we in 2022 with this kind of quality of video games? That like it's this constant kind of like level of bugginess. I'm not saying any game's coming out perfect, but I'm sick and tired of putting money towards games where I'm not getting my quality's worth. Like, and I was kind of give you an example of this. I still love video games, but the amount of games I buy a year is probably like 2 now a year.
Yes,
at max, full price max games. I'll buy like 2 a year. So like this year, the only game that I bought full price at retail has been Horizon Forbidden West. I haven't bought a single game since then. Like brand new, I just don't buy them now.
Ollie World.
Of course.
Ollie World every time. Oh, little quick shout out. Session Skate Sim, which has been on a game preview for the longest time, it has finally full released. It's so nice. I've been playing it. It's so smooth, so buttery smooth. That's it. That's my little side tangent. So if you like skate games, Session. It's full out now. So
I was gonna say we can have a podcast without you mentioning Ollie World as well. I saw that you tweeted at Luke saying when you're gonna play it.
Like he bought it on the Steam Deck and he's like, "Oh, I've been busy working." Okay, Luke, where's the game? Show me the game footage. Let me see that work. That's awful. No, Luke watches this, so Luke, come on now, show us some game previews. You know, just you know.
He was knocking around your part. He was knocking around your parts in Philly.
I know he was in my neighborhood. Well, he was in South Philly. Oh no, Center City. He was in Center City. I grew up in Northeast Philly, so he didn't get like jumped, let's say. So he was on the safe side, but
he was. And I mentioned him as well because he's going to be in our next topic and our final topic before we jump to.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like, and he's going to be in our next episode. I was like, whoa. Luke?
Yeah, that would be a big mic drop moment, wouldn't it? But
yeah, right.
No, like he's part of our next news segment, which is a bit of an interesting one. It kind of came out of nowhere, and obviously after this, we'll jump into our interview with Katy. It's kind of wrap things up here, which is I didn't even know this was going on, but I thought it was really interesting it's happened. So I'm going to go to Eurogamer quickly. It's not even Life is Strange. It's about Ninja Theory. So it says Ninja Theory's disputing claims it is using AI to replace voice actors. So this is from Vicky Blake. And she writes, Hellblade developer Ninja Theory has disputed claims that it uses AI technology to replace voice actors in its games, saying it only uses AI-generated voice work for quote-unquote placeholder content. Ninja Theory was named by GLHF as a company that utilizes the service of Altered AI, a tech firm that supports studios in creating quote-unquote compelling professional voice performances, end quote, via AI rather than professional and real voice actors. The report stopped short of revealing the minute of the arrangement, however, stating that quote unquote, the details of their partnership are under wraps, end quote. Asked directly, and I quote, are you actually considering replacing human voice actors with AI, end quote. Ninja Theory's response was a definitive, and I quote, no. Ninja Theory said on Twitter in a statement, no, for clarity, we use AI tech for placeholder content only to help us understand things like timing and placement in early phases of development. We then collaborate with real actors whose performances are at the heart of bringing our stories to life, end quote. So I bring that up, and you're probably asking me, like, mate, why are you bringing this up in a Life is Strange podcast?
Yes.
But obviously, the only reason I'm bringing it up because we're going to one of the Montreal gaffers, obviously the man himself, Luc Baghadoust, because he retweeted the statement and put, same here at Don't Nod Montreal. So Don't Nod Montreal's game won't be using AI tech for voice
performances. No, I think what he's saying is that they're using the same AI tech to be a placeholder in their game.
You're right. Sorry, apologies. The tweet loaded up. That's why. Right. Okay. The second part of the tweet loaded up because someone responded saying, for the AI tech too. And Luke responded, we use AI generated placeholder voices as they give a better result in game before the actual human VO lines are recorded. There you go. Thank you for that as well.
So can I speak on this for a second?
No.
Yeah. Oh, come on now. So I may not have expertise in this, but I do have, I can relate a lot to this because as I was writing The Essence of Life, which is on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that jazz, the EP I wrote, which has voice acting in it, I had the voice actors, one of them being Kylie Brown, Rachel Amber herself. Wow, that's so neat. Cool. But I had their lines recorded after I wrote the music. And I was actually, as I was writing each scene that the voice acting was on, I would have this pause in the music, like as I was developing it in my DAW, right? Digital audio workplace, workstation, whatever. So as I was placing it, I had some pauses there. I'm like, okay, the audio is going to go right here, right? Especially in Eden, I wasn't sure about the timing of where each actor was. So as I was writing it, I was kind of saying out loud, all of my lines and just playing a little bit. I'm just okay, this pause is going here. This pause will go there. What I'm getting at is that if I had this AI technology to just put in timing of the voice acting, just as a, like they said, placeholder, that's exactly what I did. Because my voice actors still needed time to record their lines, I was still writing the music. So it would have been nice to just have a placeholder content in there until my voice actors got back to me. So then I knew, okay, perfect timing there. I don't have to adjust anything. I just have to edit their voice and plug it in. So what I'm seeing from them, I'm yeah, that makes perfect sense of why they use AI technology because there's so many moving parts, even for my small EP. And picture that, a giant game industry people. It's a lot of moving parts here. So I completely understand the placeholding content.
No, that's very interesting that you have perspective from the music side of things. It adds more to it because I was kind of struck a little bit at first because I was expecting them to bring an Elon Musk AI robot out and start doing voice lines. I was like, are we? Is Skynet truly becoming a thing at this point? But no, I just find it quite interesting. So obviously this is I think with Ninja Theory, and coming on to what Montreal as well, but it's with Ninja Theory, them having to come out and do this is because in the midst of obviously the massive GTA 6 leaks that we had, and the fact that people can't physically comprehend in their brain the fact that game development starts at different stages and
yes,
it's very early in development when you're leaking assets from a studio and they're so far into a game, you're going to see different things. I think it's the same with if you pick up the if you pick Life is Strange's What If what's the word now, it's prototype model, in the early stages of things, people found have found the dev kit essentially.
Yes,
I've seen people played with the
pre-alpha footage.
Yeah, even pre-alpha footage to the point where it's just doing textures and stuff. People have just got the dev kit and early stuff of that, so they've seen what it's like. I think because obviously that GTA news that came out very recent and shook pretty much the entire industry, and if not the entire like news world as well. It's kind of like put like developers in a position where they have to kind of be very quick to respond to this kind of stuff, because like the minute Ninja Theory does that, or that kind of comes to like that kind of news, then it kind of sends like different signals out to people. It might even like, you know, in the actual industry, actors as well feel threatened by something like this happening for a publisher or a developer to kind of go down that route. But obviously not, because like in itself, Ninja Theory for Hellblade sequel as well, like they're obviously going to be working with Melina Jurgens, because like she has to be Senua. Like they did a fantastic work with that on motion capture, and also voice work as well. Also, her story still blows my mind as well. The fact that she was Ninja Theory's video editor, and they put her in the lead role of a Hellblade. She'd never acted in her entire life, and then she won a BAFTA for that performance. Rightfully deserved, by the way, as well. Great game. Really enjoyed Hellblade. Very much recommend it.
And that's what I mean. Like you can't possibly replace voice acting with AI. Even for money saving costs, there's no way. And that's the thing. As I was writing my lines for The Essence of Life, I was writing it specifically for Marcus, because it was just like, that's the guy. That's who I want. I don't want a robot, you know? So anybody threatened by AI generated placeholder voices, there's no way that's going to be like, robots are not taking over acting. That's not how it's going to be done. Movie writing, sure, yeah, you can totally say robots will take over movie writing, but acting, I don't believe it for a second.
Yet that's the main key word. But no, like as I said, like obviously I brought it up because Montreal's, you know, game's still in production, and Luc tweeted out about it. So, and obviously we very much cover Don't Nod news on here. So it's like I'm not very much surprised. Like if the way that game is going to be structured is obviously a very heavy driven narrative game.
Yes,
it's going to take a lot of lines and stuff. They're going to just get an AI generated, you know, placeholder, and essentially where they're kind of like just getting these lines done, so they can kind of see how the game's going through progression. And then obviously you bring in the actors and the recording of the lines for the game, because that'll just be the way that's going to kind of go by the sound of things. And it seems like it's going to be, obviously Michel will be leading the direction on the game in terms of being in the booth from what we know so far. So that doesn't really surprise me in that sense. But yeah, like as I said, like I think developers are kind of been on a little bit of they have to defend their position at the minute, because it seems to be like a lot of other things have happened in between it. Like if for example, Montreal's game leaked tomorrow, you know, heaven forbid that actually happened. Like, you know, what if it comes out and it's got like assets here and there, and it's kind of like floating around and stuff? It has huge damage and implications on like more so on the developers than actual kind of like what the game's going to be, because you set a preconceived notion at that point. Like I was talking to a friend about it. Like Take-Two, GTA 6 is going to sell millions of copies, billion. It'll probably break GTA 5's expectations, but it's going to have to be a couple of years now for damage control from Take-Two, where they constantly like, whatever you saw a couple of years ago, by the time they get to 2024, 2025, that was a thing of the past. This is the game. Yes. So same with like Don't Nod can't take any leaks at this point. They can't experience that. They're nowhere near on the same scale of like a Rockstar or something like that. So they have to be very careful with this kind of thing. So it's like, you have to kind of be transparent. It's good that they, you know, as I said, Luc's being transparent with that kind of thing, because like that's how they'll lead things. Like, and in itself, this isn't a definitive position for them as well. Like they were saying in the Life is Strange recordings as well, some of the actors I was talking to, they could like say something, and it's like they were like, this doesn't sound right. Remember, we are talking about two Frenchmen who were writing lines, for example, in the first Life is Strange about young kids who are in American school. Like you can only get so much. And the same with Sean Diaz as well in Life is Strange 2. If Gonzalo Martin thought something didn't sound right, he's got a better, you know, understanding of the lingo and the logistics of kind of like pronouncing something. So like I heard stories from some of the voice actors I've spoken to where they're like, you know, I didn't feel this was right then, or they wanted to do another take, and it's like Michelle's like writes a line, here you go. It's like you fling it and then you kind of record something. So the AI placeholder is kind of just good for them now, where it's like we can cover keep building the game.
It's all about timing and seeing where you're at and seeing if something works in development. No, like that makes complete sense. I understand.
It does make a lot of sense. So we will jump to, well, that's the end of this segment. But one more thing as well, I will just show you quickly as well, because this is really cool. So it's a plug as well for Frame a Game. So you won't be able to see it on here.
That is cool.
Yeah, so Alejandro, who's a very cool dude as well, Worked on the Life is Strange games. He worked at Square Enix for a while. He's now at Supermassive Games, which is obviously a huge moment for him. He ordered through Frame a Game, which has popped up on my TikTok a lot of times. I want to give him a plug as well. He's ordered, and this isn't sponsored, by the way, this is not an advert. He's ordered all 4 Life is Strange games that he worked on there. And it's like, you know, you get a really cool case. The game is in it. It's like really well positioned. I can't show you too well on here, but if you go on Alejandro's Twitter page, and if you were listening to this on podcast, go on Alejandro's Twitter page and you'll see him talk about how he got these. And I think they're really, really cool. So I would recommend that if you're a Life is Strange fan, because like, for example, like those as well, like I'm tempted to do them because it's like all the ones I own are digital. And I've got all the case ones.
Part of the woods too. They're in the UK.
Exactly. And they do ship worldwide, I believe, as well. So it's like,
nice.
Definitely ship in the US. I think they definitely ship to the US. Got a website, definitely go and check them out. But as I said, like if you're a Life is Strange fan, I think it's cool. Bit of memorabilia there. So you can have, and obviously we have a Life is Strange dev who's done it as well. And I think before I came on, and Michelle responded as well.
Michelle said it was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I should do that. So that is a quick plug on that. So yeah, we are done with our new segments here. And now we jump to our very, I hope is going to be a great segment because obviously we haven't recorded yet. But
it is.
Of course, it's the free amigos. But yeah, as I said, we'll jump to our segment now with Katy Bentz, Life is Strange, True Colors, and Before the Storm Star to talk all things, well, Life is Strange. So I do hope you enjoy this.
Let's go.
Okay, we are at this segment, obviously. Our guest, she's in the thumbnail, she's in the title, she's in all our social media feeds. We've had Anastasia on before, we've had Erica Mori on before, but now we're going to one of the best True Color stars we can get on here, Before the Storm as well. She's been on Life After Strange twice in 1 month for this channel. Katy Bentz is here. Katy, welcome onto this podcast.
Hey.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. We're very happy to have you here. There's obviously, as I spoke to you off before podcast, that we're going to do 4 segments, and I think we'll kick things off on obviously Life is Strange. Everyone wants to talk about it. And just a quick thing for anyone listening as well. We did Life After Strange with Katy, second time she came on, talked a lot about True Colors. So we're going to try not to, clash with what we spoke on there. So we're going to talk about some other things. But I kind of wanted to pick up some things I had to scrape over from Life After Strange, which we didn't talk about. And I'm going to go through to Wavelengths first, because obviously I really enjoyed parts of it, and I think one of my favorite ones was when we saw some of the cameos appear. We saw Dylan Winfrey come back as Mikey North. We saw nice little cameos from Rihanna DeVries and Kylie Brown, and then obviously you're doing your own segments where you're recording. But like, when did you find out that they were coming back for their for these cameos, and then also reaction where you can kind of have this mini Before the Storm reunion in your own special DLC?
Yeah. That's so interesting. You said mini, Before the Storm reunion. That's totally what it was. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that totally was a Before the Storm reunion. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I knew that Mikey was going to come back, and I didn't know that. I had no idea that they were going to use Dylan. Like, I didn't know. So that was really cool when I did see that they did end up using Dylan. I think they had told me. They had told me that they were going to bring just like little cameos of Rihanna and Kylie, which I was like stoked about. I had no idea like what it was going to be. I didn't know. So yeah, it was just like all these like, possibilities of things happening. And so it was cool to see that like, they did happen. So yeah.
Do you ever get nervous about that? That's like, these are people that in real life. Us, we're just like, oh man, that's terrible that they replace the voice actor, but these are some of your, not just colleagues, but some of your friends. Do you ever just feel like, oh man, I hope my friend doesn't lose their job? Like how much of that thought process goes through your head sometimes?
Like with that in general, well, here's the thing. When you're a voice actor, like we own nothing. Like we don't own any rights to these characters. Like the companies can do whatever they want and use whoever's voice they want. They don't have to use us again. And that's just the name of the game. And I think that, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's interesting because, like they had two different Chloes and they got Rihanna back. I don't know. It's all up in the air, you never know what it's going to be. And I think all we can really do as voice actors is just be respectful of each other. And just like, if something happens where like, you know, another voice actor comes in and, you know, is that character, like we can't be mad at that actor. And I think that's something that needs to be kind of discussed a little bit more. Like, you know, we can't be mad at that actor. That actor is just working just like we are. And for some reason, you know, the company or the project needs this person to do it instead of the original person. You know, there's so many different Aerith. Sorry, my lighting is so weird all the time. There's so many different Aerith actors. You know what I mean? Like my friend Bree, who's in the Final Fantasy VII remake. You know, she's like one of like a dozen Aeriths that have been Aeriths. You know, and so it's just like you can't. I don't know. You just can't be married to a role because anything could happen if they bring that role back and they don't. You know, especially like, you know, aging happens. Your voice changes and you can age out of voice roles too sometimes. So yeah, just there's so much that changes, and just being understanding of that, and then just respecting other actors who are working just like you're working.
Well, I'm even thinking about it as you were speaking on that with the wasn't it the Actors Guild strike that originally put on Rihanna to voice in Before the Storm? Like you even have to respect your own guild sometimes to say that, like, well, listen, like the entire guild. I might be out of the loop with that, with how that works with strikes with actual guilds, but is it almost like you have to respect your guild in that sort of way, in the way you're talking about?
So what happened there is none of us at the time were union. And a lot of us were just getting into the industry. A lot of us were just, a bunch of us had just moved out to Los Angeles. Like we were just trying to figure out what to do. And, you know, we're all self-submitting for these roles. And I mean, I wasn't even very knowledgeable at all about any of the unions, not even like I wasn't knowledgeable about SAG. I wasn't knowledgeable about that stuff. I hadn't learned about it yet. I mean, I booked Before the Storm right when I moved out here, literally right when I moved out here. And yeah, I think it was like after it had came out and like we were meeting a bunch of the other BTS actors and stuff. Like there was just conversations of like, you know, people being upset and like, and I don't know who was upset. I don't know, just people being upset about the voice changes. And, you know, then the talks of the strike, and we weren't allowed to talk about the strike at all. Like we couldn't, you know, we weren't allowed to talk about it. It was just so like weird. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh God, like, did I do a bad thing? Like me auditioning for this, was that bad of me? Like, did I just like, you know, come in here and take people's jobs who were supposed to have them, but they couldn't because their union was on a strike and they can't work right now. You know, and so yeah, I felt like weird for a good bit of that. But when it comes down to it, you know, if I think about like my friends in the game, we're all just trying to work, you know, we were just so new, and those were like our first roles. Some of us, those were our first roles like in college. Like, I mean, Kylie was fucking 18, you know, like we're all so young. And yeah, I don't want to put any blame on, you know, the actors just kind of just putting themselves out there to work and not really understanding the weight of what was happening in the union at the time. Yeah. But yeah, there is parts of me that wonder about that. Because yeah, if the union wasn't on strike, I wouldn't have been sitting here right now with you guys.
It's crazy to think about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sucks. But and the union striking and the voiceover union and SAG in general, there's so many things wrong with it. And you know, they don't give us residuals, and that's horrible. And should definitely be fought. And yeah, voice actors work a lot, so
they do.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm going to take this a little bit left field because I will bring it back on Life is Strange. But I think you mentioned something quite interesting there, because obviously it comes into fact with Kylie's age. She was so young. I remember speaking to her, like, you know, she was like 18, I think, when we spoke, and probably 17, 18 when she was filming it. And like yourself, Katie, 24, 25, BTS was being done. And I just wanted to know, like, because like that was kind of the role that shot you and gave you so much that you're so grateful for now. But and I bring this up because when we were speaking to Erica, Erica's like very much is like, I'm a reserved person. Like you see her, she has social media, but she's like, I don't use it. I don't want my life to be an expose for people. And I can see how she's calculated with it. And I see it yourself as well. You need to vent when you need to, but also kind of use social media when you need to. But I kind of want to know your kind of perspective, Katie, because like, you know, you got that role at 25. Are you more grateful at that point being 24, 25, getting a major role in a video game rather than being a lot younger? Because like you won't be exposed to huge amounts of social media, the way people react, criticism, going on these kind of like video game tours. I saw like as I said to you before when we spoke at Life After Strange, I enjoyed watching you do interviews on True Colors because it's like you seemed so experienced, you're so immersed with things, you had so much time to absorb everything you're doing. But I feel like, you know, maybe 18-year-old Katy Bentz would have been completely different. It might have been like, oh, you know, I'm kind of like getting so much exposure here, it could be difficult. But how do you feel about that? It's like the fact that, you know, you kind of got a bigger role at like maybe 25, 24, like that age.
I mean, I definitely was completely, well, BTS, like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like when I was 24, I had the mind of an 18-year-old, I feel like. So I don't know. I think I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved, you know, seeing that I could grow a community. I loved seeing the possibilities, and I took advantage of that. You know, like I latched on and I started a Twitch channel. I don't know if maybe if I was younger in a different, I guess, a younger headspace, I don't know if I would have taken advantage of that, you know? I don't know if I would have thought to do that maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I just rolled with it, and I just saw that it was a possibility to make something, to build my brand over here. And I just kind of rolled with it. I don't really know how I would act if I was 18 and I had gotten that role. I don't know. I was very immature at 18. I was incredibly immature at 18. And
were we all?
Same, don't we? Yeah. I'm glad that social media
31.
I'm glad that social media was nowhere near in its stage where I was at 18. I'm so grateful for that. Like, you know, we had Facebook, Twitter, but like nowhere near like levels of what I see in like TikTok, for example. I'm like, I'm so grateful.
Oh yeah, I would have been all over TikTok. Yeah.
Goodness.
So in that, no, go on. You go.
No, I was going to say, speaking on the poise you give at such a young actress, and after Before the Storm, I just wanted to know, like, we had you on our old show, Games and Groceries, and one of the questions I asked you, because I didn't know you were filming for True Colors at the time with Deck 9, I said to you, hey, what do you think about, because Tell Me Why at the time we were talking about that, Tell Me Why was a 3-episode, and so was Before the Storm was a 3-episode. I said, you know, Katie, what do you think about Deck 9 only going for 3 episodes? Don't you think they could have gone for 5 or anything? And you said, well, you know, I think Deck 9 is a great company. I think they're just so ambitious with what they do anyway. I think a 3-episode arc is just, you were talking so highly of them. I was like, isn't she done with Deck 9? Like, you know, I guess.
I mean, like, I'm done. I don't even remember when I got brought on. I mean, it was a big, like, because the game came out in 2017 of September, or no,
yes.
No, August. Came out August 2017. I didn't get brought on or get notified that I was being brought onto the project, True Colors, until December 2018. So there was a year and like a couple months where I was not working for them, and I didn't know I was going to be working for them again.
Yeah.
And I continuously, I mean, if you watch the vlogs, like I talk them up so much, you know, even now, like I'm not like, you know, I'm not on another game with them. Like they're amazing company. And
you handle it with such poise too. Like you're like, nope, like this is who I am. Like you handle it very maturely, you know. I was just very impressed with it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know, just give, I guess, respect where it's due. And like, I respect everybody at that company incredibly much.
Yeah. Well, I definitely saw it, but I definitely did suspect that was like PR talk. There's a difference between giving respect and like something's going on here. She's saying she's hiding something here, and at the time it was like maybe I want to say it was like 6 months later. You reveal like, oh, surprise! I'm gonna reprise my role. I'm like, I knew it. There was something.
Oh, okay,
I knew.
So that was like right when we were doing it. Interesting. Yeah, I probably
exactly.
just had it in my mind because I had been working with them and I was just like, I like them so much. Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, she's hiding something. There's something up here, but
She called me out.
I should have, but I don't want to do that to actors. I'm like, oh, I'm going to respect, we're recording. I'm just like, I'm not going to be that guy. Like, hey, listen, spill the beans here. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have
exactly.
deflected really well. You would have had no idea.
Oh, she deflects very well.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just visiting my family in Kansas. It's fine. We're nothing's going on.
Right.
So,
Jeez.
just hypothetically speaking, if there is another Life is Strange game and Katie comes back, which state are you visiting family in next? It can't be Kansas.
God, I
time,
know.
So like,
No,
I'll
definitely. I'll
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, if I'm visiting, I don't know.
Yeah. Nova
If
Scotia.
I visit family at all, they'll be like, "Oh, you're totally doing something." Even if I'm visiting my family,
It's like-
just where my family is, nobody's gonna believe me anymore.
So, one more thing I wanted to ask you, because like Wavelengths was quite interesting when we talked in our Laugh After Strange episode, and especially when you gave that really, I love that response where you talked about like, there was fear about playing a gay character now in 2022 when the climate's changed. And I think retrospectively, I appreciate Wavelengths a lot more in certain things. I think like one of the things I noticed was, the dating mechanic essentially with Steph, like the Tinder-esque kind of like, swipe, 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 swipe. And obviously Adam mentioned it there. You both talked about Tell Me Why. Fast forward a couple of years from that, we have a transgender love interest for Steph, and like those are two really like big significant things, especially for me on the dating thing. Like I've used those apps and I think they're horrid, like especially like that kind of like, especially for like Steph, in terms of you want something but then you're kind of talking to anyone. It could be like you're just having there's like meaningless conversations. That's what I felt sometimes with some of those characters. It was like, and it felt quite immersive, and I think it was just because of my current reflection of how I feel about it. And then just obviously a big step forward with having a trans love interest on someone like Steph. But what was it like for you, like, and at the time, and also maybe even now, like having reflection of like seeing these kind of like things of like, let's explore dating apps and let's explore a love interest, because like, as I said, 5 years ago, we wouldn't have had any of this for me personally, like, but because of like how staple factor like a dating app is now in most people's life, or how the industry is trying to push trans characters and try to get them more visibility. What was it like seeing these kind of things being talked about and really kind of like, drilled home in true colors as Wavelengths DLC?
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing that like we were able, as a whole for this game to talk about these things, to bring these things up, to bring awareness to these issues and just these people. It's not even really issues, it's just people. We just bring awareness to different types of people, because there's not, we're not just this like cookie cutter type of person and everybody's the same person. We're all different people and we all have different backgrounds. We all like, our sexual orientation is different. Like, so to be able to bring in people that maybe we haven't seen in the media as much, like transgender people, like we haven't seen that in the media as much. And I only can hope that, we'll continue seeing them in a way of them just being people. And I think that that's really cool that they did that in Wavelengths, where like, it was just a transgender person who like, that wasn't even a discussion. It was just a person. It was just Izzy. Like it wasn't even a discussion. Just like Steph being gay wasn't a discussion. She went on the dating apps, like she was trying to find, somebody to like match with. And in true colors, like, we just find out that, Steph used to date Izzy. And like, there wasn't a discussion of like, oh, Izzy's transgender. And like, this is all the trauma and things that happened. Like, no, like that probably did happen. There was probably things that happened, in the story behind it all. But like, the point was just to shine light on that these are just people and we're all just people existing, trying to just live our freaking lives,
Exactly. Nicely said.
Yeah. So Adam, do you have anything else to add about Wavelengths?
Okay, so Katie, do you have, and I'm sorry if I haven't seen all the vlogs and this is something you've already answered. Are you at all a vinyl collector? Do you collect CDs? Do you collect music at all?
I have a small little vinyl collection because of the community sending me vinyls.
Nice.
I have like every midnight CD album. I have the True Colors album. I have Hannah Telle's album. Like people have just sent me all of these. I have the Life is Strange with oh my gosh, Angus and Julia Stone. Like I have that because people send them to me. But yeah, so my little collection.
What
and
would
I have
you
a little
say?
record player. But it's all because of the game.
It's all because of the community just sending you stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you then, like a little follow up for that, right? If you have your top 3 hunts, right? You don't have these albums, but like this is something that you might want on vinyl, whether it exists on vinyl or it doesn't. What would be your top 3 like collections to add?
Ooh, I really love Nick D. He's an awesome artist. Underground, like he made his come up on TikTok, like
Nice.
Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And yeah, he's awesome. I love his music so much. So definitely him. I don't really know. I have a really eclectic taste in music, so I listen to a lot of different music. His is definitely one that comes to mind immediately. Yeah, I would have to like look through my Spotify playlist to figure out what else I would like.
I know.
But yeah, for sure him. Nick D is great. Highly recommend.
We're coming up on that Spotify year like kind of review soon.
Oh
like,
God, I don't know. I don't know what mine's gonna be. We'll see.
Oh, I know exactly what my top 5, like number 1's going to be Logic. It's Logic every single year, so it's just going to be up there. But
you just listen to the same music every single year. I love it.
Oh yeah, it knows, but like the other 4, I don't know.
Who knows?
Don't know what my top 5 is going to be.
It's exciting. It's fun.
I know. Adnan, isn't it exciting when your Spotify comes out? Yeah,
I'm on Apple Music, so we're not even having this conversation.
Lame.
Yeah, I am very lame, but I'm going to move this into a more, interesting conversation because Adam's open to music. But Katie, I'm going to move it onto Life is Strange at this point, which is Daughter, Before the Storm soundtrack, or Angus and Julia Stone soundtrack for True Colors. Which one is your favorite and why?
Daughter.
Yes, correct
Daughter.
answer, yeah.
Daughter. I like Julia and Angus Stone. I really do. I think their music's incredible. Like I really connect with it all. But Daughter is just amazing. Like Youth, I remember hearing when I was younger, and so when I saw that like they had so many songs in BTS, I was like, this is so cool. Like I know Youth, and all these other songs are just, I don't know. I love the vibe of it. I love the emotion behind it, and yeah, so definitely Daughter.
Great shout.
Great.
Nice. I'm from the UK. I've never heard of Daughter before that, and when they had Daughter do Before the Storm, I listened to everything they made. I was like, I'm hooked on Daughter, and I love their music. I think it's great. So moving on from Wavelengths, we might come back to it, but I wanted to ask you, because obviously we're going through the vlogs, as I've suggested to people many times, go and watch your vlogs. They're great to kind of get really insightful, kind of like behind the scenes expose you'll ever
too.
get.
Like there's a lot more behind the scenes stuff coming up.
Yeah, because that's my favorite part, because I'm like following them, and obviously we're getting like, snippets of time from, but it's like we're getting closer and closer to like, I can kind of reveal True Colors. I can like, we get into this kind of scene. So it's really cool. So I would recommend people go and check those. But I kind of wanted to ask you, because obviously, you're in LA, but you're flying out to Colorado and you're doing the vlogs. And obviously I've seen like there's a lot of traveling around Colorado as well. I wanted to ask you, because obviously Haven Springs is a big inspiration from Colorado. But I wanted to ask you, like, what was it like immersing yourself in the Colorado culture? Because you spent a lot of time out there. And then also how reflective it was in Haven Springs, because they were very clear, Deck 9. It's like, this is what we want to take inspiration from. It's in the game. And obviously I've had Anastasia's perspective, I've had Erica's perspective. But I wanted to know what you felt, because obviously having spent almost like a second home, Colorado at that point, what you thought about, and then kind of seeing it brought to life in Haven Springs.
Yeah, well, I just feel like like where I was staying in Colorado was not like, similar to Haven Springs, but like driving, when I got to drive, the few times I got to drive out there, like I drove through those towns pretty much. Like I didn't go to the town that it was kind of based off of, but I just got to drive through these like little small mountain towns, and it was just so cool to see that. I was like, this is Haven Springs. Like this is what it is. Like, this is Colorado, small town, mountain town right here. And it was just really cool to, see that they took so much of their own home, you know what I mean? Their own state, and put it into this game. And you could just tell there was a lot of passion behind that. Like they knew like how to make this game beautiful based on Colorado. And yeah, like I tried to go and do as much stuff as I could. I mean, I didn't really do too much stuff because I had a lot of, work that I had to do when I was there.
Yeah.
But I got to go to like downtown Denver, and I got to go up to Boulder, and I got to just like, be around. But yeah, it was cool. It was a really nice area, and yeah, it was just a really cool town.
Did you ever go to a show at the Red Rocks?
I actually went to the Red Rocks, did not see a show.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I went there like during the day before, like they were doing like sound check and like getting everything set up, but you could like walk, out there like on the amphitheater. It was like really cool place. I would totally love to see a show there. It just didn't work out.
I know.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my like bucket lists. Odessa was just there putting on a show. I'm just like,
oh, I bet that was great.
I know. I saw pictures. I was like, great. Dang it. I'm up here in North Dakota and it's down there. It's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Too expensive to live there anyway.
Yeah, well, I've heard Colorado's really expensive to live there now as well. One thing I wanted to ask you as well, because we didn't actually explore this at all before, but it's like, what was your reaction like when they pitched you the story for True Colors, and then also kind of like learning about Alex Chen, Gabe Chen? Because we spoke about Zach Garris when you met him, and he was on mocap sets, but just like the overall impression, because obviously this takes a completely different turn compared to other Life is Strange games. It has the Life is Strange DNA, as I call it, like it has a lot of the kind of same elements, but we're going. So I feel like this is Deck 9 kind of putting its foot on the series, because it's like you have an opportunity to create your own characters, more characters, your own settings. But what was your impression when they pitched the original idea of here's the story from it, and you're hearing it?
No, I thought it was awesome. They didn't tell me too much. They just told me we have a character who is going to feel emotions, and she's going to have aura around her, and it's going to be, that's her power. And yeah, I don't even, they don't tell you that much. They just are like, hey, we have this other game, coming out, and we want to have Steph, reprise her role. We want you to reprise Steph's role in it. And they didn't really tell me how much of it I was going to be involved in. I do know that originally Steph was not going to be a love interest. I do know that originally. Yeah, she was not going to be a love interest. And she just kind of developed into that. So I think she was supposed to just be a small little part, and then the writers just ended up writing more for her, and like came back one day and they were like, all right, so Steph is going to be a love interest now. And I just remember being so excited. Like I was like, finally Steph gets some love. I knew that freaking fans were going to eat that shit up. Like, like I knew how great of a move that was. And I was just even more excited to, get it out to the world. So, yeah.
Dang. So speaking of things that were cut or maybe, added in later, I needed to confirm something or speak on something in terms of the behind the scenes on here.
Okay.
We had Erica Mori on the show.
Okay.
And she revealed to us that originally during the festival, there was going to be an all-out dance scene with all of the characters, and she was going to lead the charge into like actually developing the dance moves, choreography. Can you speak on that? Is that true, or is she blowing smoke?
No, I think that might be true.
Yeah?
I mean, at first I'm like, I don't remember any of this happening, but then I'm like, wait, this kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah, apparently it was supposed to be a whole choreographed dance scene with the entire town, including Jed.
Yeah.
That would have been dope.
Like now that I think about this, because Erica, has a dance background. And I feel like she might have mentioned this at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of things. There's a lot of things that, go up in the air, and they're like, all right, we could try this, we could try that. Like there's so many things. That they change before it gets to, the hands, the script gets to the hands of the actors, and then we get to be in the space with it. And sometimes even after that, like, they cut a lot of stuff and you have to redo things. When I came in though, they pretty much like had, the main points down, and they weren't really like, there was still changing things and adding stuff, but like, it wasn't as like, it wasn't when Erica first started out, because they had to shoot so many new things all the time because they were just really trying to figure it out.
Yeah, she was very excited about that. She was very passionate for it to happen. And I was just like, that sounds pretty wild, man. I don't know if she would. I don't strike her as a liar, but I'm just like, that sounds pretty daunting.
I think it's true.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay. I think it's actually true.
Don't worry about
Dang.
Adam's thing with Erica Mori, because like she rode him pretty much for like our entire episode. You took a lot
I
of
know.
punches from Erica Mori.
It's like
That's why
so
that's why
rude,
it's a little
dude.
bit. No, but like, Katie, it's really interesting you mentioned the love interest part about Steph, because like
Yeah.
my belief, like that kind of like blows my mind a little bit. That's why I've been saying a bit quietly, because I always assumed that Steph was a bigger part of the game, because like the way she's
Yeah.
positioned in the story, and I've said this to Adam loads of times, like you could take Alex away and put Steph in the main character role, and that's nothing against Erica Mori, but it's just like the emphasis they put on Steph. Obviously, Steph's story coming out with post this with Titan and Square Enix, it just feels like they have a lot of love for Steph. So the fact that Steph's not a love interest, like the minute I was playing that game, I was like, right, Alex's love interest is Steph for me. It's not going to be Ryan. It's like I feel like Ryan was almost the third wheel, and it's like, like it just kind of blows my mind the fact that you just told me like, oh, maybe that the love interest part wasn't going to happen until it was like, yeah, we'll add it in.
I think it was kind of like once they did it, it was like a no-brainer, like, oh, duh, like, of course we're doing this. But they just have so many working parts. Like, there's so many things, there's so many storylines, there's so many characters that didn't even get to be put into the game that they had. Like, they have so many ideas, and then they have to whittle them away to see what's going to work. Like, even for the DLC, like, there was so many other options for it. I was told, and the Steph DLC might have not been a thing, and they approached me with that immediately. They said, what do you think about this? It might not happen. And I was like, cool, don't get my hopes up, but also fuck yeah, but yeah, it's just everything's ever changing in these type of games.
Are you nervous at all about the Titan book? I'm not trying to say like dog the company or anything, but do you think they're going to get the character right? Are you nervous reading about it for a character that you really love? What are your thoughts on that?
I think well, the writer, she seems really sweet. We followed each other on Twitter, I think, because it was after I posted about it, and I was like, I want to do the audiobook, and they responded to my message. Huh?
Are you doing the audiobook?
I want to. I have no like tie to anything. I don't even know if they're going to do an audiobook, but I have spoken into existence. I put out my feelers where I needed to put out my feelers, and we'll see what happens. But the writer of the novel responded to me on Twitter and was like, that would be so cool if you were able to do the audiobook. And so then so they seem like a pretty cool person, and I think that Square, because I mean, I don't know how it works. Square is partnered with Titan. I don't know if Titan is partnered with the writer, or if Square is the one who found the writer. I don't know, but I do know that Square, and also too, Deck 9, I think it was Deandra and I don't know how many other people were involved in it, but they were on it. They worked with the writer as correspondent. I don't know the word, but they worked with the writers to make sure that they were getting the correct story, that they were getting the correct feel of Steph and whatever stories we're about to read. I have no idea. Honestly, to God, have no fucking clue. And so, I have no idea what the story is about. I have no fucking clue. No idea.
Because
I'm about to learn about this character just like everybody else is. No idea what this character, unless they contact me, in freaking, I don't know, comes out in March. Maybe they contact me in January and they're like, hey, let's do the audiobook. Then I'll know. But I saw that opportunity and I was like, they would be like, that is the smartest thing that they could do, is to, if they do an audiobook. Not all books have audiobooks. But honestly, I feel like in this situation, why wouldn't you have an audiobook?
Especially with a voice actress.
Yeah, and folks over that I've been talking to are like, yeah, we've been trying, we're pushing, So I know that there's a possibility it'll happen, but also it's up to Titan, and if they do an audiobook and if they want to use me, they could totally go use somebody else, and that's the whole thing about, you can't. But again, it would be such a no-brainer to use the actor as the voice of the novel that's about her. That's just, to me, is another promo deal. That's a PR. That's a thing. You just keep pushing shit out. You're like, oh, here we go. So
Because even
yeah.
Will Smith like read his book like about Will Smith. Like he was the audiobook narrator. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
why not Katy Bentz?
And if it doesn't happen, if they don't do an audiobook for it, or if they do an audiobook and they don't have me, as the narrator for it, as a voiceover for it, I'm going to read the heckin' book on my stream. And that's what I'm going to do.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Story time with Katy Bentz.
Yeah, we'll read the
Nice.
book. We'll read the book on stream. And learn. Yeah, I'll learn about it right then and there. I'll learn about Steph's story. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems a no-brainer for me for them to do an audiobook, and especially because it's a prose novel. It's like I'd like, obviously, like the comics are a bit different. I like really enjoyed reading the comics, but it's like for a novel, like to make me sit down and read 300 pages or however long a book is, it's going to take me about 300 years. So I'd rather and I think the opportunity as well because of the voice actor, and as we said, all the stars align. But in that, Katie, like we don't really know much about it anyway, what they do with the book for the moment. But is there any part of Steph you'd like them to explore in that story?
Her younger years. I don't know what they're going to explain. I don't know what this is going to be, but I want to know her younger years. I want to know about her parents. I want to know about her, come up story. I want to know, how she is this proud, person, and how is she so sure of herself, and where does she get this confidence from? We have a little bit about that, like that flashback with her and her cousin, at the Pride. But that was her when she was like 14, I think. I want to know about her when she was young, and I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know. But I think with this story, it's about her journey traveling in the band with Izzy. I think that is the actual story. Yeah. I don't know, but I think that's what I read. So
yeah, now that you say that, I think that's what the description was. Yeah, it's a lot of Izzy.
Yeah. So as much as I'd like us to experience her younger years, I think the story is based off of the time before Steph comes to Haven.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh, there's always flashbacks. Flashbacks can happen in books.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So maybe we'll see more. Yeah. But I'm very excited about it. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know. But it's super cool that a character that I perform gets her own freaking book.
Right?
It's awesome.
Starring in it, yeah.
It's so cool.
Really
yeah.
Cool. Adam, do you have anything else to add about True Colors of Life is Strange? Because obviously we've got other stuff to talk about, and I've run, as I said, I've run my course for about an hour and a half in our Life After Strange. And if you have anything else,
I do have one question. Okay, speaking on True Colors, Katy Bentz, Bentz of Katy. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay, thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Does that mean I'm a sad person?
Oh, actually.
Well, you
maybe.
said True Colors, so I was wondering if you were gonna attach.
No, that's it. Just I want to know favorite shade of blue.
Teal, like a tealy, like a
greenish blue.
Like the color. I don't know if you can see, like a light tealy blue. I don't know, like a vibrant light tealy blue.
Okay, I can get almost like not exactly a turquoise, right? But like a little bit...
like kind of turquoise. Like if you've seen my colors on my stream, like that's a pretty good one. Or like even this is a really pretty color. This is a beautiful. This right here.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a pretty.
I thought
color.
that was a swatch for a second.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's definitely it's a pretty color. Some people might say it's green. I don't know. It looks blue to me. But yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. We'll come back on Life is Strange with some of the fan questions. Obviously, this topic's a bit more interesting. And we'll come on to it in a second because something just popped in my head. I'm going to link it to Life is Strange. As you know, in this podcast, we've had other Life is Strange actors come on here, which included, obviously, Kylie Brown, someone you worked with as your co-star in Before Storm. But in that, Adam asked her a question which was taken from Mr. Matty Plays, which was that if you're having mac and cheese, Katie, do we have it with a spoon or a fork?
I think you can go back and forth. It's just it's like oatmeal. You can go back and forth on oatmeal too.
Wait, whoa, pause.
You can go back and forth on oatmeal.
Wait. You eat oatmeal with a fork?
Yeah. Today I ate it with a spoon, but sometimes I'll eat it with a fork if I'm feeling.
Wait, how do you eat it with a
challenge? Do
you have like cookie dough like oatmeal?
I mean, it's pretty thick. Yeah, it's not like runny.
Oh my god.
But I have berries in there, and it's nice just to stab it, eat the berry. I would say that if mac and cheese, I would totally eat with a fork. But like I
Yeah.
could eat mac and cheese with a spoon as well.
But like Mr. Matty plays is very, very like he goes to war with a spoon. Like it's only eaten with a spoon.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how? No, like that's some runny like mac and cheese. Then you gotta stab it with the fork, you know, like the real mac and cheese, you know.
Yeah.
And then you pick it up, and then the entire like cheese just dribbles down your face because you're like,
Yeah, it's like
that's how you eat mac and cheese. Like,
Yeah, like
I'm
I don't
more-
know. Yeah, you can eat like the oatmeal thing. Like I don't know if it's a thicker consistency and it's not going to run through the fork. You can eat it with a fork, whatever it is.
Because I eat overnight oats in the morning, and even my overnight oats, I don't think I would eat with a fork.
I can't eat overnight oats with a fork because it is runnier. Like I want to eat it with a spoon. But yeah, no, I would definitely. I could go back and forth. I would eat it. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's the one that shocks me when you said it back and forth, just like with oatmeal. It's like,
Yeah, I
wait.
don't know. Just what are you feeling? Oh, you want to eat with a fork and a spoon? Whatever.
See that's LA mentality right there. It's like, whatever floats your boat. You know, that's
Yeah,
West
whatever.
Coast mentality.
It's
you know?
nice to switch things up. You know, life gets boring.
See,
Eat your
I'm
oatmeal
coming
with a fork
from
sometimes.
I'm coming from the East Coast. Like I was born and raised in Philadelphia, so I got East Coast mentality. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, you eat it with a spoon. What are you talking about? There's no other way. Stop it. But like West Coast, like, sometimes life flows in the way you want it to. So, just like eat it with a fork one sometimes. But West Coast, man. Can't East Coast all the way.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that was insightful, and you picked the right answer, Katie, for a fork. So we're going to move it forward because we're going to talk about two things, which is your Game Hers nominations and also Twitch. And there's a lot to talk about Twitch in the second part. As I said, this is a bigger topic for you.
Did you see me go off the other day on my stream?
I did. Yes.
Oh, fun.
Hence why I said this was a topic you would enjoy. I said I was keeping it secret because we'll come on to that in a minute because
we're going
to talk about Game Hers first because obviously voting is open. We talked about it in Life After Strange. The links were there. Go and vote for Katie. Pause this video. Go and vote for her.
It's not in there anymore. I don't think I made it.
Oh.
Yeah. They nominate like there's like 300 people or something. It's like it's wild. Like literally you could nominate anybody and they'll be put up on the nominations for the Game Her Awards. Which feels cool because it makes it feel like you got something, you're like, oh, that's so cool. But then you look and you see there's 300 people and you're like, all right, this is a popularity contest and hey guys, you want to vote for me? You can if you want, but yeah, it's not gonna it's a popularity contest when it comes to that kind of thing. So like whoever has the most supportive, not even the most supportive community, just whoever has the most community members. Yeah, at that point. Yeah. That's kind of what it is.
I was hoping to use this as a plug to get you more votes, but
I don't think because I got an email saying that the round had moved on to like the next round of whatever, and I never got notified that I moved on or anything, so I assume that I'm not in it at all.
That's a shame.
But on the nominations,
I don't know.
It must be nice to get them because I know that you do a lot of charity streams. And
I got nominated for the charity streamer. Yeah.
And this is a big part of your life as well as streaming anyway. But it must be just nice to kind of get that recognition, especially because, as I said, you do a lot of the charity stuff for all kinds of benefits that you give to other people. So to get that recognition from them.
I'm still in here? Now I'm confused. I don't know what's happening. The site confuses me because it says like community voting. And then my name is still on here, but I don't know if it's like open still. I don't know.
Well, I guess what we're saying to our audience is to hack into the system and just take your vote in there. Just do any sort of immoral steps to make sure that Katie wins. I think that's what we're getting out. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to be clear. Cool.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Just so I read right.
Yeah, so if it is still open, go and vote for Katie. If not, Katie should have won. That's the simple my position on that.
Yeah.
But, so Katie, obviously, this is where we get into a meatier topic, kind of giving you a lot of room to rant and stuff, because obviously acting is only one part of your life. You built a lot around streaming, commitment, dedication, everything else in between. I'm a bit of a cynic with sometimes with Twitch streamers, and mainly towards the bigger ones. I'm like, these guys don't care about a lot of the people that are following them, making a lot of money, etc. But then I remember that for a platform of people like yourself, Day, it makes the world for you and everything else and that you give towards it. And I think more so with people like yourself and Dave, because I think there's a lot of ethics that are involved in it. Because like you're an actor, but you respect your NDAs at work. You respect if a publisher reaches out to you. And I'm saying that because recently some guy who was a YouTuber got caught out for the Assassin's Creed thing. He was like leaking stuff and breaking NDAs. So it's like, that's why I'm a bit cynical.
In the dumbest way he got caught too. The stupidest way.
It's stupid. It's like, I'm a cynic towards people like that. It's like they don't have ethics sometimes. But, you know, there are truly great people out there. But in itself, we've had a big shockwave that's been sent out for the news, which is that Twitch is removing its best paying 70-30 revenue split for most of its streamers, and it's committing to a standardizing 50-50 split instead. And I know that Katie speaks about the issues that are important to her. We spoke about in Laugh After Strange about the credits, and you had a lot to say about that. And then this one as well, so Katie go off on Twitter respectfully, but also giving the vocal opinion of, and very big transparency as well, because I learned a lot about Twitch at that point from you, like when you talk about how people gift things, what revenue you get, etc. But I wanted to give you the platform here. Like, what was your reaction just seeing that news as well? And obviously that will impact you and the amount of work that you put towards Twitch as well.
Yeah, well, it doesn't impact me. Like, it doesn't really impact me up front because I've never had a 70-30 split. I never was able to get it. I tried to contact partner support. I tried to do anything I could to get it for the last like 3 years, but it was just never anything that I never have contacts at Twitch. I don't know what to do about it. But when I tried last year, they were like, no. And now I'm like, okay, that makes sense because they were about ready to fucking just take it away from everybody. I'm more or less just upset, like, for my friends. I have a lot of friends who do have 70-30 splits. And when it comes to making money on Twitch, when it comes to being a Twitch streamer, when it comes to being a content creator, so the 70-30 split goes away after they make $100,000 from subscriptions. I believe that's what it is. I don't know if it's overall. I think it's just subscriptions. And that's a lot of money to some people. Like, that's a lot of money. $100,000 is a lot of money. And so a lot of people can look at this and be like, whatever, they're still making a lot of, they're making $100,000. Like, it's fine. Like, they're still making a lot of money. Like, they're going to be fine. And it's like, well, no, let's think about this. These people who have a 70-30 split have had this their entire time for the most part of being a Twitch streamer. And they rely on this money. They rely on this income. You know, Twitch ebbs and flows when it comes to money financially, especially from subs and bits and donations and things like that. But you can get a pretty good idea of what you might make at the end of the month. And especially if you have a 70-30 split and you usually have, you know, these pure recurring subs every single month, you can, you know, allow and allot, you know, that money towards places in your life. So these people, even though they're making over $100,000, you know, these people have families. These people have kids. Some people do. They have families and kids, and they have to pay for school. They have to pay for food and clothes. And maybe like their income makes it so like their partner doesn't have to work. So then, like, you know, everybody was relying on this person's income, this Twitch streamer's income for the family. And now they've done this, and, you know, now like that sucks. Yeah, they've given them, you know, almost a year's notice, but also it's just like, they have to look at all of their finances now and figure out, okay, well, what the hell do I do? Because I might not be able to now afford my mortgage because I've based my entire life off of what I expect to make. And so it's pretty shitty. And I feel bad for those people. And honestly, a 50-50 split is so fucking stupid. Like, there's no other company out there for content creators that does a 50-50 split. And this is the most, like, we're doing the most work streaming on Twitch. You know what I mean? You can have a fan house. You can, you know, do, I don't know, you can have all these other like little sponsorships and partnerships with different companies. But like, your main source of energy goes into turning on that live stream and streaming. And that is the main source. That is where like we get burnt out from. Like, our main source of burnout comes from that. And to only get 50% of a subscription is so lowball. Like, that is so bad. I
assume like, that's before. Sorry, I assume that's before you have to declare taxes on it as well. So you already
that's before taxes. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Like, it's and yeah, like, I've been super transparent about all that stuff, and so I was just mad about it. And you know, I then went on to Twitter to just tell people, because I talked about it on my I talk about it on my Twitch channel all the time, because I want people to know where their money is going. And I want people to know, like, what's the most beneficial way for you to support streamers? Not even just me, just to have knowledge and be educated and knowing where your money is going. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this on Twitter. I'm going to put this on Twitter and make a big long thread, and hopefully it'll help somebody like understand what to do and how their money and where their money goes on Twitch. And I think it did help some people. But then, yesterday they're doing this thing. They're implementing this thing called Super Cheers, which is just stupid. And it's basically a way to try and deter people from using PayPal as a donation source on streams.
Great.
And Twitch just wants to control it all. They don't want people to go outside of it. They want to make it easier.
So it's basically
for people to
like the Apple did with Fortnite, right? Like you can't do any outside payment. You have to do like through. Pretty much. But they also they're experimenting this on people's channels. And while they are, like, they're taking away the option to donate with bits. And bits is the most beneficial way to support a streamer. Giving bits, because the viewer or the person purchasing the bits pays for the fee up front. So if you buy $1, then you're going to be paying $1.40. And then you can give that $1 to that streamer, the whole entire $1. With everything else, its fee is coming out of the streamer. So, and with the Super Cheer, the fee would be coming out of the streamer as well. And anyways, yesterday, for some freaking reason, I don't know, maybe it was just a coincidence, well, I got put into the experiment. And so I woke up and my mod was like, "Oh yeah, your bits are gone. We can only do the Super Cheer thing." And I said, "No fucking way. Are you kidding me right now?" After I put out that really long, extensive Twitter post about where your money goes as a viewer 2 days ago, and then I mysteriously get put into this, random, perchance experiment. They never told me about it. They never contacted me saying, "Hey, you're going to be a part of this." Nothing. And so I went off because bits is the most beneficial way, and it's where it's my source of income. You literally just took away a source of income for me to take away, and the Super Cheer thing is not beneficial at all. Twitch is literally getting money one way or another, but yet you want to do the way that makes it go out of the streamer's pocket. What the fuck? And so, I hope that they don't replace bits with this Super Cheer stuff, because that's absolutely garbage. I'm just so sick and tired of, just sick and tired of it, honestly. I'm burnt out. I'm 110% burnt out from streaming. But it's my job. It's my source of income. And what the fuck do I do? Yeah.
So here I am.
Yeah. No, like what you're saying right now, like I was just listening to the Nintendo podcasts where they were talking about on their bonus episode between YouTube and Twitch, which is better for a creator. And what you're saying right now, it just matches up that like they couldn't contact anybody from Twitch, where for YouTube, they always had a person, like straight up, like even as small creators, they're just like a YouTube person would like reach out them like, "Hey, I heard you had a problem. What's the problem here?" Or there will be people who want to like move them up into the YouTube algorithm. But in Twitch, it's like the Wild West. They go on there, nobody talks to them, nobody tells them anything, nobody tells them about what they're going to experiment with. It's like matching up, and like the Nintendo's between Bob Wolf and Wood from Beat 'em Up, some larger creators, and even they struggle on Twitch, like from hearing from people.
Well, it's because YouTube gaming isn't as big as Twitch.
Yeah,
that's where they're able to manage their creators better, even if you're a smaller creator. But it's just not. It's not the place to be.
Twitch is the place to be.
Twitch is the place to be unless you are.
So it's kind of like which is the better poison, Yeah,
I mean, for me, my entire community is on Twitch. I'm not going to jump ship and go to a different platform where I don't believe half of my community would follow me, because people like things a certain way. Some people like watching Twitch. Some people like watching YouTube. I don't like watching YouTube lives. I think the interface looks weird and makes me uncomfortable, and I don't like it. Like, I don't understand it. It looks weird. Yeah. Like, I don't like it.
Like a couple of years ago,
when the same level of interactivity that you have with Twitch. I feel like you're more interactive. Like when I watch your streams on Twitch, Katie, like it's always been like you get a ping, ping, ping. You get like a lot of kind of like knowing when someone's interacting, you get your mods and stuff. But when I've watched YouTube Live, it's like just a scrolling feed and like a couple of like 1 or 2 bits in it, and I'm like,
yeah,
sure,
it's
yeah,
different. Yeah, it's just different, and so like, yeah, like I truly think if I were to leave, like I don't think, you know, I do have like a small group of people who would most likely follow me wherever I go, and I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, it's just like I've built so much on this platform that I just can't leave. And it's not like the people who are moving to YouTube, you know, are the 1% who are getting bought out, and they're saying they're YouTube's coming to them with a contract saying, okay, we got a better contract for you than Twitch. Would you want to come and work for YouTube instead? Because YouTube knows that, you know, the more of those people they can get, the more people will want to start going over to YouTube.
Yeah, but
again,
it's still not
like,
going to work. Yeah, because Mixer did the same thing. Like Mixer got so many creators from Twitch, and like look where Mixer's at. Not exactly.
Yeah,
Ninja,
YouTube won't,
the biggest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube gaming I don't think will ever go away. I just don't see it at this point ever popping off like Twitch is. Like, and Twitch and Amazon, like, no. Like, Amazon knows, Twitch knows that they're, like, the best of the best right now, and that really nobody can change that.
And I think this is the point where my business perspective is, like, Amazon squeezing the kind of, like in itself, like, where I live here, like, you see Amazon trucks, like, they have their own delivery service. They don't use other couriers anymore because they try to make it all narrow focused onto Amazon. I think this is why they're cutting out, like, the PayPal exchanges, because like they don't want to give money towards PayPal, and I think like obviously eBay did it. I think like last year where they cut out PayPal as a pay method, because it's like we want to take the money ourselves and don't want to pay for a fee. So it's like they seem to be looking at maximizing profits and then also causing this complete chaos that seems to have happened from it. Because I was just going to say to you, like before we came on, I was reading as well, like they've lost their VP Twitch, like resigned. Constance
That's
Knight,
right. Yeah,
leaving the company.
When was this?
This was 24th September. So it was Twitch's Senior Vice President of Global Creators, Constance Knight, is leaving the company.
Yeah, today.
I haven't been on social media today. The VP of Twitch left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What the fuck? I have to go on stream or Twitter. Oh my God. I had no idea. This is wild to me.
In a statement shared with staff on Wednesday, Knight said she was off on a quote-unquote new adventure that provides exciting growth opportunities for her both professionally and personally, end quote, in the quote-unquote creator space, end quote. Knight's departure from Twitch means the firm has lost its chief content officer, chief operating officer, and Knight's position in the last year alone. So there's seems like. Do you think they'll make a U-turn on it, Katie? Like this decision? Because I've seen like the tweet that they put out,
like a U-turn. They might
make a U-turn, because I've seen the tweet that they put out and like the amount of verified creators who are replying. And like as I said, when you tweet as well, like and you got in your soapbox, like when I know Katie gets on a soapbox, it's about a very important kind of like
I don't get on a soapbox quite often, so yeah.
That's what I mean. So and as I said, like, I learned more from your thread about you talking about the transparency, because I know just Twitch as I can go and watch something. I never knew how the revenue was split, what you got from bits, etc. So it's quite insightful for me as someone who's very much a layman in that. But do you think that might even make a U-turn on this? Because it seems like I'm not seeing any creator thinking, hey, this is actually a great idea that you can take more money from me, Amazon, in the middle of like.
I hope Twitch will listen. I hope they'll listen. I mean, I just checked out my user voice thing and it has almost 200 upvotes. So that's fucking cool. And there's a ton of conversation here. I can post this in the chat for you guys. There's like a ton of conversation about it right now. I put this during my stream. Yeah, there's like 2 pages of people talking about it, and
oh yeah, look at you.
Oh, that's
good.
Really cool.
Heck yes, that's awesome.
These are the things that make the world change, essentially, and for the best as well, like that kind of thing. So if you rally behind it, it's going to be like, you'll get people hopefully changing what Amazon's strategy is. Because I think, like, personally, I think Amazon are doing it because they know that there's no competition for them. They can just basically take advantage of this, because Mixers no longer exists because of Microsoft's decision to cancel it. And also Alphabet, Google's company, doesn't seem to want to make YouTube gaming into a great platform, which it could be. I think it could be a Twitch competition, but it seems at this point...
That's why I canceled my Amazon Prime account, because I don't like supporting this company, dude.
I hate it too. I feel I use Amazon for everything. Like I'm over here and I hate what this company is doing to so much of our world and so much of my personal like livelihood, but yet we're stuck where I'm so wrapped up in Amazon. I use Amazon all the time. I literally just had things delivered today. You know, like I'm so wrapped up in it and I can't, like, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this stupid company that literally has a hold on this whole world because I don't know. They know what to do to keep people going. I don't know.
Exponential growth.
Yeah, this company definitely is going to continue owning a lot more than we think.
Yeah.
And, they want to. That's what they want to do.
That's the thing. If you want to like support Amazon, great. You know, that's on you. I'm talking to the listener right here. And if you are supporting Amazon, you know, go over to Twitch, you know, support Katy Bentz over here. But if you have no need for Amazon, like don't support this company, man. Like it's just too much.
They're bad. It's just it's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
I completely feel for you, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping for two things. One, that they make a U-turn on this, because as I said, I think it's they might be taking a bigger slice of the pie for, like, you know, other like the bigger creators, but it hurts so many of the medium-sized, smaller creators. Anyone who's on there, it's just like it
hurts, man.
Destructive. Yeah, and the only other thing I can hope for is that there's an alternative that pops up and offers a, like, you know, an 80-20 split to creators, because I think that would be a big
like Mixer.
They'll never do that. They'll never do that.
Yeah,
because Twitch needs to make money too. They have to make money. It's stupid of creators to not think that, like, they have to make money in order to run Twitch and in order to pay their employees. And like they have to somehow make money as well.
But at the same time, it's like what Amazon does, and this is exactly why I canceled my Prime account, because they had a record profit the year before. Record profit, and this was like exponentially more, and then they raised the price of Amazon Prime, and then they do this to creators. They are still making profits, they're still making money, and that they still screw over the consumer, the creators, their employees. They're making money, and they don't care about any of them. And it's just
they don't. Honestly, I don't think Amazon cares about Twitch at all.
No.
And there are a lot of really incredible people who work at Twitch who are trying their hardest to be there for the creators and to try and support the creators and try to get their voice heard at the top, you know, to try and make a change. A lot of the people who leave Twitch talk about how many things that they, you know, tried to bring into the light that it just didn't work, but they tried. And I know that there are still a lot of people at Twitch that are like that.
The minute you mentioned there, we said that Amazon doesn't know what they're doing with Twitch. I think he's so spot on with it, because as soon as they did this stuff with Lord of the Rings, they sold the rights to it. Like, we're not keeping this, and they're just using that as a tester to see how their streaming service does, even the original series. I think, like, they seem to be doing this thing where they're gobbling up things, and it's like,
well, they're making a Fallout series, and Fallout is near and dear to my heart, and I know they're going to screw it up, and it's just like, my goodness. Well, Katy, I got a quick question for you. So this is like for shout outs, right? So, by the way, listeners, again, if you got Amazon Prime, support Katy. You need to go do it. But Katy, I want to give you an opportunity as well. Like, we're going to shout you out no matter what, but like, what are like 3 or 5 creators like in that range that like people need to pay their attention to when they're on Twitch if they have an Amazon Prime account?
Oh God, I have so many people.
List them, man. Let's get some shout outs and like support creators in some way.
Well, of course, like the ones, you know, that are in my close circle, like definitely Bree, the Strange Rebel Gaming is an incredible streamer. She was Final Fantasy VII Remake as Aerith. She's just a wonderful friend. A-Tray, just another amazing person, another amazing friend of mine. Yellow Spoon Girl, Bella is amazing. Who is Chelsea, Skylar Seymour, Seth Drums. I don't know. There's just so many people. I don't want to forget anybody. And people are like, Coco Confession. Like, there's a lot of people out there who are doing great things, and like Calvin Thomas Music. I don't know. There's so many people.
I know.
TA in LA. I don't know. There's a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I missed somebody that I feel like I'm kicking myself out. I'll remember later and be like, God damn it.
That's a giant list for people to like go and like support them in some way or some fashion.
And many creators to support there. And I think we'll move the conversation away because obviously, you know, it's really a tough subject with Twitch at the minute and the kind of like position it puts you in. But we'll go back to nicer topics. Life is Strange. Final questions, Katie. 6 we got in, so we picked them out for you.
Cool.
These will be quite variation. Got one late one, which is quite good as well. I think that's not Life is Strange one, but yeah. So Katie, we'll start off. We're going to Adam from YouTube, not this Adam, another Adam who follows this podcast for a while. Kicks off with, first of all, I just want to say you are awesome, Katie. And a little spoiler alert. If I remember correctly, Steph was the stage director of The Tempest play in Before the Storm. If you could direct a play and have Steph in the lead role, what would it be?
If Katie could direct a play that has Steph in the lead role, super meta. Ooh. I don't know. I want to direct Othello, and I want Steph to play Iago. If you know Othello or Iago.
Yes.
Iago is this like really, really intense, deep character who's just kind of really fucked up. I don't know. So yeah, that'd be cool to see Steph genderbend that. That'd be fun.
Good shout. Start things off. And then we'll go on to Devon Neal. This is from YouTube again. Question for Katie. What do you personally think would happen if Max and Chloe ran into Alex and Steph?
Well, I think Steph would be like, yo, what up, Chloe? Because they know each other. And then, yeah, I think they would all get along pretty well. Yeah, I think they would all get along really well. I think the characters that, you know, they're all written a certain type of way that they would all these protagonists would get along well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes. Right. Going to Anthony on Twitter. Anthony's followed us for quite a while. Katie, I really enjoyed you as Steph in Before the Storm and True Colors, but I really loved Wavelengths and thought that was really where she got to shine in that role. Katie, what was your favorite appearance of Steph? And did you have any input in her characterization, especially in Wavelengths, where it was basically just Steph? Also, what's your favorite D&D class?
Okay, my favorite part in Wavelengths was definitely Fall, where Mikey and her are playing D&D, and she's having those intense scene with him. That was really fun as an actor to get down deep with those emotions for Steph. I really love that. Yeah, some of my favorite lines and scenes are from that moment. And then there was like two questions. What was the middle one?
Did you have any input in her characterization, especially in Wavelengths?
No.
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 Yeah.
So the writers just know what they're doing. Like they literally like know exactly what they're going to do with this character. I'm sure I could have like, you know, chimed in and stuff, but like you get the script and you're like, this is literally Steph. This is how it would happen. So yeah.
Yeah. And the final part was, what was your favorite D&D class?
So I've played a couple times. Let's see. This is how like much I don't know D&D very well. Like Elf is the class, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Adam doesn't know either.
Sure. Yeah.
I would say an elf then. Yeah, I think that's because so it's an elf and then you have like a barbarian is the race.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, elf. I'm gonna say elf. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people think I'm super into D&D and I'm super like not. So I played it a lot. But
follow-up question: would elves eat oatmeal with a fork or a spoon?
No, they would. I think they would eat it with like their hands.
Moving on. We're going to the next question.
So
I don't
Laura
want to
from
imagine
Twitter.
that.
Okay.
I just gave you something left field.
Laura from Twitter asks, if Katie could add a new moment or scene for Steph in True Colors, what would she have liked to see for Steph?
I want to see her with Gabe. I want to see her and Gabe hanging out. They're besties. They're besties. I want to see any kind of progression with that relationship. But
Yeah,
there
that
was
still blows
no
my
scene.
mind.
No
Still blows my
scene.
mind that you and Han
no.
Solo didn't work together. I was like, when he said to me last, I was like, wait a
Nope.
minute. I was like, no. I was like, that's mate.
I know
Shocking.
with the Wavelengths DLC, it was all within letters and not actually with Han Solo. I was like, oh, man, that's something we're missing right now, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
So crazy.
I think if the pandemic hadn't happened and they still wanted to do that, they had, I think, planned to have Gabe be in the actual, mocap performance in the space.
It would make sense as well. Haven Springs record, so you could just walk him in, couldn't you? And it's like we can just film whatever scenes.
Yeah.
But game development, we have to go through what the changes and everything else happened between it. Okay, Colin, aka Ghost Panda on Twitter, what a name.
Oh.
Anyway, 2 Life is Strange games and her own DLC is quite the resume for Steph. Katy is undoubtedly a legend. My question is simple. What are some of her favorite things about both Arcadia Bay and Haven Springs in the games? Thank you, guys. And thank you, Colin.
Just the feeling of I don't know, like, I like the Pacific Northwest, and I feel like also, like, Haven Springs gives Pacific Northwest vibes, kind of.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, it's just like a certain type of vibe and people who are in, like, mountain towns. Like, everything's slower. Everything is, just more chill. Like, you're not worried about, I don't know, stupid things that, like, you can't change. You just chill and you hang out, and, like, you just vibe with the people that you live around, and you just enjoy what you enjoy, and there's nothing more to it than that. And that just is really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Before I move on to the last question, I want to ask you, with a Life is Strange game, where would you like it to be set if you had the chance? Like, if we were talking about hypothetically a future Life is Strange game, would you want it to be set in a certain part in the US state, or would you want it to, like, maybe even move out and go to, like, a different country?
Feudal Japan.
That's so interesting.
Feudal Japan. Like, cheers, Adam.
Listen, I'm just saying, like, there is so much opportunity to have Steph come back. I'm just saying, like, there's so much opportunity. She is set up they could have her go anywhere and do anything. She's literally a traveling musician. Like, there was no, like, there was nothing stopping her in any of those endings. So, like, yeah, you could follow, like, Steph to, like, London in her band.
Dang.
I'm down.
Yeah. I'll be down for UK Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Tech 9. Come on, Square Enix. Right. Last question. We got this late on, just before we actually started recording. This is from Grasshook on YouTube. And it's a question for all three. Team Green or Team Black? There's obviously a wrong answer, just as in Bay or Bay, so don't let me down. Now, I'm hoping you've watched this.
Team Green or Team Black?
We all said that. Well, like, me and Adam were looking for a question, like, what does that mean? We found that it was from House of Dragon.
From Game of Thrones. I assumed you'd watched it, or like something, there was a connection there, but I'm going to go Team Green anyway, so it's just...
Listen, the only thing that I've ever seen of Game of Thrones, I saw one whole episode, and then I saw a bit of another episode. I don't remember anything from the whole episode I saw, except for they traveled to some queen or something, and they drugged her, and she died. Like, she sipped something, and she died. That's all. And then the one scene that I watched from another episode was the boy who's in the wheelchair, and he, like, I don't know, like, he's not in his wheelchair, I guess, but I don't know. Anyways, they're sitting underneath a chair, or sorry, not in the chair. They're sitting underneath a tree, like him and like his sister or something, and they're having a conversation and whatnot. And then she just like leaves, and then it just kind of pans out, and he's just there, and I'm like, how is he gonna get up? That's all I could think about. I was like, dude, the fucking he doesn't even have his freaking. Somebody needs to help him. They just left him there. He can't walk. That's all I thought about. That's my experience with Game of Thrones.
I will.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you don't need to watch any more of it, to be honest. That's
Team Black. I don't know. I'll just say Team Black.
Yeah. Okay. I'll also say Team Black.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Right. I think we've exhausted a lot of topics. Katy, thank you so much for having you back on here. Is there any way, like, obviously people can go and support you on Twitch, but have you got any like signings planned up? Because obviously I know that today before we recorded, Erica Mori was doing one for hers, and I popped up and I was like, "Where's Hemi?" And she's like, "Hemi's outside." And I'm like, "Come on!" It's like we need to see Hemi. But is there any signings that you have planned or anything that people can do to support you going forward?
Yeah. Well, my Streamly is open. I'm going to be having a signing. I'm going to be having 2 different signings actually in October. And I'll be joined by another person that we haven't announced it yet, but you can probably guess who that is. So yeah, that'll be in October. And both of those, or I guess my Streamly store is open, so you can purchase. I'll be on Wavelengths Day, which is September 30th. I will be announcing and putting up some Halloween Streamly prints for people to purchase, and then we'll be doing a signing middle of October.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. So do go over there. We'll put some links in the comments as well so you can follow. Katie, thank you again. And we'll jump over to our final segment when me and Adam will close out the show. So thank you for coming on this podcast episode.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed our segment there with Katie. Obviously, always great to have Katie on here.
Conversation.
Yeah. The conversation we hadn't had when we were recording this, but which I obviously assume is going to be a great conversation. But yeah, as I said, great having Katie on here. Had her on Life After Strange for this month's episode, and obviously we had her on here as well. Double dosage of Katie, and you can never have enough Katy Bentz. But usually we've done different formats for this. Sometimes it's been a full interview episode with the actor. Sometimes it's been with new segments. I think because of the time and space that we have with things, we're going to do this as a spread the art segment. So we're going to bring that segment back into this. Adam, you want to kick things off?
I'll actually let you start first this time, because I'm going to shock you with mine.
No. You can't set me up like that. No, I can't talk. No, I can't talk about my feelings about my whatever I'm going to spread now with you setting out. You have to go first now.
Okay. I'm going to double down on Adnan, the council. I played it. I took his advice. I actually played the council. I played it all the way through. And the council is always on sale. Like, I bought it. It was individually on sale each episode. Here's what made me angry. I had to buy each individual episode for $1.24. The following week, the entire series was on sale for like $5.50. I was like, dang it, come on now. So it all worked out. It's fine. It was like the same price-ish, but it just down like anyways. So couple problems to look at before you do this. The voice acting, is it cringy? Sometimes. Here's the thing. One of the main actors is also the actor of Rayman. So Rayman's voice actor. So put that in perspective. So it's kind of cringy. The audio design is a little off. Sometimes my audio would cut in and out. The story goes a little bonkers sometimes. It's,
Keep it spoiler free.
Yeah, no. Like, spoiler free. It's like the story goes a little bit bonkers. But the good things about this game, it is a narrative driven game. It is episodic. Here's what got me. It's an RPG, essentially. There are RPG traits. There are class systems. There is different consumables about this. So you have to think about what you're doing. Different selections cost different experience points. And if you put your experience points to one different aspect, then there's a discount on the experience points that you go into with making a selection. And then if you don't go into their vulnerability, then you get some points deducted. There's a lot of different RPG elements into this game, but it's definitely still an episodic narrative-driven game, a lot like Life is Strange, but with RPG elements, a lot like Vampire. And it's still composed by Olivier de Riviere. I hope I'm saying his name correct. Please don't hunt me down. So no matter what, I'll love his music, and I loved it here. So I'm going to double down and say The Council. It's always on sale. Go find it.
No, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Because, like as I said, the mechanics just...
It's the mechanics
just does something to the
games,
isn't it? It does something to the game, and it's like I still stick with that game. Because, like as I said, I barely knew anything about it. I was covering it up to its launch, and then got a code from, I think it's Focus who published it. And we were talking about that. Like, you couldn't even Google the puzzles sometimes. Like,
because get a review copy.
Yeah, because like there's a big. I won't like spoil people. Like there's some big choices that you make. Like they do have like a significant kind of like swing on the entire story. But like Adam was like, oh, should I do it? Should I not? It's like you have to bite your tongue and be like, let's just play it as it is. Well, when I was doing it for reviews, I could not look up a guide because it was like, no, you didn't even have that option. So it's like you're playing it blind at that point. So obviously it's very interesting when Adam gave me his response. I was like, I can't believe that actually happened to you.
Yeah, it pissed me off sometimes.
It's just that because it feels like it makes the council is an example for me where it's like it makes a game feel a bit more filling, if anything. Like you always get accused of like stuff like Telltale's early games where it's like a walking simulator, and to an extent it is sometimes because like it's very rudimentary and it's very simple in terms of like you might just pick something up or you might be able to interact with very few things. This thing you're like building a skill tree. Then you kind of like there's like moments in the story where, or like even in like certain scenes where you interact with characters, you're going into the menu to find out what their immunities are, their weakness, their strengths
like
are.
I would constantly go back into the journal and just like see like, okay, what's this immunity? Oh, I haven't even discovered his immunity. Crap.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And especially during the confrontations mechanics, as I mentioned.
Oh my God. There were sometimes I was just like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? Because like there's sometimes you have 2 blunders left, but then there's some that say like your only chance. And then I'm like, this is the right choice. I swear to you, it's the right choice. And they're like, I screwed it up. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, like,
that was like when it's like, I was like, oof. And then in itself as well, I think like it was always interesting when I played it. I was pretty like, meticulous with what I did with the game. But then when you get the results at the end, it tells you there's quite a few branching scenarios where it's like you can miss things that you just don't. And you're like, hang on a minute.
How did I miss that?
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Like I will say that. You know what else it gave me vibes of? Don't ask me why, because I don't know why. It gave me vibes of the first 3 Harry Potter games, like Chamber of Secrets, Sorcerer's Stone. It gave me those vibes. I don't know why.
H.P. Lovecraft aesthetic. Obviously, it's a big part of the story.
Yes, but I'm going to double down and say the Council. If you buy it
I'm very glad that you enjoyed it. That's the main thing for me. Like that's like I'm happy because, as I said, it's a very underrated game. It's very cheap. And it's not going to blow your mind. There are bugs in it. There's like the voice acting is debatable, and the writing and the story kind of like does go down some interesting routes towards the end of it.
Interesting routes. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, interesting routes. Yeah, but like the aesthetic of it, obviously, if you like your like old school like history, like I do as well, like
the aesthetic, it has like real life, like historical characters into it. But if you like that, if you like RPG elements, if you like episodic story games, you need to go for the Council. That's my take. Yeah.
No, but we'll leave it. I can talk about that game for hours. I think it's a very interesting. It's because it came out in that climate of the episodic. Like I think it was coming towards the end of that run of
2018 it came out.
Yeah, it was coming out at the end of like that decade. And it was like we were kind of like hitting a different point. And I was playing that after having played so many Telltale games, Don't Nod games, all the ones that are tapping into episodic games. And that was like a breath of fresh air. And it was like, it's a shame that it didn't have more public appeal to people. Because as I said, it's not a 10 out of 10 game, but it's a very strong, for me, 7.5 game, if anything. 7.5, 8. I'd even put it at 8 as well. I think it's just, you get your fulfillment.
The mechanics put it in an 8. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think like that's enough for that. And also a bit of fun trivia as well. The woman, I think the game, there's a character called, is it Emily Hillsborough?
Yes. Emily.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Her motion capture actor is the same motion capture actor who played Karen Reynolds in Life is Strange 2.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's cool.
Yeah. Obviously, I looked that up, like, I think, round about when after the Council's release, after Life is Strange 2 was released, and obviously I looked at it, I think, like a year and a bit ago, because I was trying to look at Life After Strange, which, you never know. So, like, got to keep it at that. But she is the actor who plays Karen Reynolds, the motion capture actor in Life is Strange 2, which is quite cool. So I'll give you my shot. I think you'll kind of, I think you'll actually enjoy this as much as I enjoyed you playing King Council. I have been playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Let's go. Let's go.
I downloaded it via PS Plus when it was in the lineup, and just finally got to it. And like when I played it, oh my god, the nostalgia!
Yes, dude.
Oh
wasn't it a perfect remaster, dude? It was perfect.
It's so good.
Oh, it's
so good
because it puts in the modern, but also keeping the nostalgia alive. It's such a perfect remaster. Oh, I love it so much.
Mate, do you know like how surreal it was as well? It was like I knew the maps. Like the first map in Life is Strange, the first map in Tony Hawk, and the first map in Tony Hawk 2, I knew them. I just knew them off the top of my head, and like all the challenges, I was like just doing them. That is like blew my mind because I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be 30 next year, but as a kid, I played those Tony Hawk games religiously.
It's
on PlayStation.
exactly how you remember it too, like graphics and everything. You're just like, I remember this being so smooth, but like if you go back to the old ones, like how did I play this? No, it's perfect. Hell yes.
Yeah, it looks clean. It just looks fresh. I don't know if they're moving some of the licensed tracks around because wasn't Ace of Spades in Tony Hawk 2?
Yeah, some of the tracks couldn't make it, you know, but then they got some new tracks into it. They put Bass by Mercules in there, so I appreciate that. But then they got, of course, Guerrilla Radio, which is the only one that matters. As long as you got Guerrilla Radio and Superman by Goldfinger, those are the only two that matter. Everything else, like, it's questionable.
That was the time to be alive. Like when I was playing it, it's just like you have the like do you like big like rock music or something in the background. And it's like, and the Tony Hawk vibe and like 2-minute timer in each map. I was like, I like felt my childhood come back into me. It was so surreal. It felt so surreal playing it, and it's like,
and it came out like, 2020, so it came out the perfect time, dude, for nostalgia.
Yeah.
Dude.
I like the fact that they've actually aged Tony Hawk in it as well. That he's actually playing as Tony Hawk now. Then and
he gets to play as like older skaters, like all of them aged, even Rodney Mullen, and then he put in new skaters like Nigel Houston. I'm pretty sure Leo Baker's in it. Yeah, dude. Oh, I love it. It's so crisp. And even his son Riley Hawk is in the game. So Tony Hawk, and then his son Riley Hawk is in this game. Oh, so good, dude.
Yeah, it's one of the, it's a remaster done well, and it's a 2 thumbs up for me. I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're like I was part of that period of like there's certain games that touched my childhood, and like that was one of them. Matt Hoffman BMX was another one, and you know those earlier games when the minute I get the opportunity to play them, especially when it's like now and it's remastered well, it looks visually quite nice as well, you know, and just the things are there. And it's like, as I said, I knew where a secret tape was. I knew in the first Tony Hawk, as soon as I hear that secret tape is above that little ramp as well, going straight up and jumping over and breaking that and getting my secret tape.
Bro.
But yeah, it's definitely cool. So that is my recommendation, to go and play Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster. Let's go, dude. I'm so happy.
This has been the best spread the art segment so far.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, it has to be like 2 words like, it's just like, that's so cool. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here because obviously I don't know. Because I don't know how long this episode is going to be right now. But like,
true.
We'll wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. If you have, do please leave us a subscribe, like, share with your friends, turn on notifications. Obviously, it just helps you keep up to date with our content. I'm not going to give you some algorithms spiel, but if you want to follow our content, it helps you keep up to date with it. And obviously, as well, StrangeCast is available on podcast services. So it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, whatever you look on, we're there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Life After Strange, I don't know when it's coming back. At the minute, I'll be quite frank, I'm very burnt out at the minute. Like, I think it's just September blues or something. Adam was, we both jumped on this and he's like, how are you? And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I feel the same. He's like, I feel the same. Yeah. So I'm a little bit burnt out. And I think Life After Strange will just go on a little bit of a brief hiatus whilst we work on this podcast and do things. But it will come back. It'll just be getting the kind of motivation to kind of like get interviews done. I've kind of got ideas of who I want to go for anyway. So we'll work things out from there. But anyway,
yes.
As I said, stay tuned. We'll look to get guests on here in the meantime and whatever else. But yeah, as I said, I hope you enjoy the episode. Stay tuned. There's more StrangeCast coming to this channel. Until then, take care, guys. See you later.
Peace out.